What up, guys? What up? Hope everybody's doing well this afternoon. Gonna let everybody get on here. We'll get started here in a few minutes.
What's going on, Mike? How you doing, man?
Oh, can't complain, man. Ready to start the week.
Yeah, hell yeah. Looks like a good week firing up again.
Hey, Mike. Hey, Tractor.
You know it.
What's up, Gator? Or was that Gucci?
That was Gucci.
Oh, I'll get you guys. You guys hear exactly alike. What's up, Gucci? How you doing, man?
Can't complain either, mate. How about you?
Doing good, man. Smoke clearing up a little bit out here finally, so.
What's going on, team?
What up? What up? What up?
What's up, TJ?
Oh, it's all happening, man. Shit. Everything.
You ready to start the week?
Yes, sir. I'm ready. I got some stocks on the lookout here and gonna see what they do tomorrow, I guess.
Good deal. Good deal. Yeah, we got some earnings plays coming up this week too. I don't know how many of them I'm gonna actually play though. They're not really huge names, but some of the charts actually presenting some decent setups, maybe. So,
Yeah,
some candidates for next week.
what I'm seeing mostly is everything after hours is just went sideways, and a couple of them maybe up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I was just looking at this more or less at the stocks that had a good Friday, strong Fridays. You know, it wasn't really very many of those actually, but I don't know. We'll see, I guess. Tractor, you got it figured out?
I got one play I'll watch for tomorrow. You know what that is?
Yeah, I know what that is.
Which one's that one?
Tesla.
No.
No? What the hell?
That's going to be Apple tomorrow, baby.
Oh yeah, Apple. Well, you know, I wonder what Apple's going to do after when that's.
I don't really know what Tesla has left in it now that it. I mean, you had to own the shares on Friday, so really, I mean, I don't really know what's left in it now.
Well, that's why I'm thinking. That's what I was getting at. I think Apple might do the same thing when that time comes.
Yeah. So tomorrow's the last day for Apple to push. Yeah. So.
And Apple had a really good Friday.
Oh yeah, that was retarded.
Yeah, it was just an excellent Friday.
I sold way too soon.
Yeah, it's good money on Apple Friday and a couple others, but yeah. Shake Shack, Apple, Wayfair, Qualcomm, Lowe's, Home Depot, they all had strong Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
Dell had a strong Friday too, but I don't know if it's because the earnings report's coming up on the 27th, or I don't know what's with Dell. But I got those 6 or 7 on my list to look at.
Yeah, Apple, Baba did really good too Friday. I don't want to forget about that one.
Yeah, Baba did do good.
I mean, Baba's right here shoving all-time highs right now. So, see her popping up here pretty dang well. I'm gonna get rid of some of this stuff. But yeah, pushing beautifully right here. So far, I mean, it almost matched the 52-week high right here. What is that line?
Yeah, I agree. If it can break at
268.03 roughly. We hit 267.40s. So I mean that candle from 258 all the way up here, $10 move. Pretty dang good move for Baba. So
yep. Sure it was.
Even looking at let's just say a 5-minute chart here. I mean, just look at this thing. We gapped down actually Friday. No, hang on, that's Thursday. Yeah, we pretty much shot up right out the gate here. gapped up a little bit. Actually, pre-market, it looks like it reclaimed it after the second candle there. And it was just a push all the way up there and then flag sideways.
Yeah.
Very,
Yeah. I mean,
very,
it went straight up in the morning for a couple of hours, and then, like you said, man, it was sideways. It stayed up there.
yep. There was.
Hmm.
So definitely one to watch this week to see how we break all-time highs on that. Of course, it's going to be a lot of determining on how SPY is going to break. I mean, hell, I thought we were going to break through 40s at close or near close. I mean, watching the S&P 500 or SPY here very closely is it's nuts to see how many times we hit this. Even if let's just say a 4-hour chart. I mean, look at this right here. We've shoved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, I guess, in a 4-hour candle window here to break that 339 or tap that 339 area, and then we closed above it actually for Friday. So pulling up on the daily here, you know, we're at the highest close we've ever been we're at the highest close we've ever been. Dang. So even before the coronavirus here back in February 19th, we had a close up here. The highest close was 338.39, and we're at a close of 339.48. So this is the highest close we've ever been.
Yeah, I just hope it don't do the same thing it did then.
I know that's kind of what's gotten the market a little bit choppy. Obviously, you see this arrow right here of where I feel like it's going to pull back eventually, just because we have this gap and this gap, you know, at 331 to 330, and then another one at 327 to 326. You know, SPY always fills its gaps for the most part. I mean, I've never.
And let me ask you a question, Mike. At this point, at this much of a run, wouldn't it be healthy for a good pullback?
Yep.
That's what I think too.
Sure would. I mean, just look at this thing. I mean, we've really recovered really strong from from our March lows down here on the 23rd of March.
Really
and I mean, we've got 2 small gaps that it did not fill, obviously down here at the bottom, and then we've got one right here. So, you know, for the most part, it's always filled its gaps. These are the only gaps that it's got. And I don't see us getting obviously that low because we had such a, all of a sudden booming return of the economy, I guess, and everybody, getting pumped to push the market back up. I mean, hell, we just had a freaking fall off the cliff right there. But, this one right here is at 286 to 292. It's a possibility if worst case scenario, this one could eventually fill. Who knows? Because it's up here. Within decent reason, I guess. Just look back at the last push that we had. I'm going to go ahead and just delete all this stuff here. So let's see here. Remove all segments. So you guys get a little bit clearer image of all this. I like open candles for you guys that know me. I love open candles to be able to see the candles. But right here, we've got this gap right here. We've got this gap right here. Obviously, these gaps already filled because we've got chart, going past it. But just look at this for instance, right here. We've got this high. We had this massive push. I think this was early June. Mid-May, then early June right there. We got the high of June 8th. Looks like it was when I was on vacation. So we got that crazy high, and then we pulled back, bounced a little bit, then pulled back again before continuing back up. But look at the dollar amount on that pullback. This was 323. We fell as low as 296, 297.
Yeah, really.
That's
and the gap in itself.
Yeah, that's a $30 drop.
I mean, just the opening that next day.
Mm-hmm. It's a $30 drop. That's nothing serious, I guess you can say. I mean, obviously done in 2-3 days right there.
Yeah.
After the highs. So, I mean, that's not serious, but it is enough to, correct this chart, because obviously you can't have the chart just going straight up without some kind of relief and then continuation. And that's kind of what we're faced with right now. We've got some push, short little candles, really short, which makes for choppy markets. when those candles are so short like that, there's not enough playroom for the rest of the market to have those high volume, big up and down swings like we have these big candles. You know, you got the big giant candles. You're going to have more movement on your options to play, you know, the rest of the market with some good volume, good movement. But when you got these little short candles, you know, we have to find good solid plays in tiny sectors of the S&P 500. So it makes it difficult. And for you guys on YouTube, I'll go ahead and just show you how to look for those stocks in the S&P 500. The easiest way literally is just going over here to finviz.com, pulling up this heat map, and you guys can very quickly start to see what sectors are outperforming, underperforming, things of that nature. And this is literally what makes up SPY, is all these stocks, all these markets make up SPY in one way or another. So when you see Microsoft pushing, Apple pushing, Nvidia pushing, Facebook, Google, Amazon, Apple, you know, these companies are pushing the markets up. They're pushing SPY up with it. It's making the moves go strong. So, you know, with that being said, it makes for a nice market. And when I pull up this, let's just say a 6-month performance, what do you guys see? Look at this. This is what's helping SPY. We've got Apple 66%, 24% Microsoft, 33%, 63% Amazon. I mean, huge gains in the whole tech sector, communications, consumer cyclical, and consumer defensive. Walmart, PJ, Target, Home Depot. And you've got even some in the healthcare sector down here that's actually doing pretty well. But look at these banks. You know, these banks, the financial institutions are still very rough. Even utilities like energy. Real estate's even lacking in some areas there too. Aerospace, Lockheed Martin, Boeing. You know, some of those have come back, obviously, but they're rough. But this is what's making SPY hit all-time freaking highs. So I don't know if technology wants to pull back a little bit, it's going to make SPY pull back some, because we're freaking high. How high that is to be determined, I guess. Even in a 3-month performance, which is kind of what we're dealing with, you're still really green. The whole market as a whole is green. I mean, look, this is just 3 months. You obviously go back to 6 months. That's where you're going to be throwing in a lot more negative stuff down there that still has to come up. So 3-month performance, market as a whole has really done well. INTC is falling off the cliff because of NVIDIA and AMD just roasting it. Even 1-month performance here, I mean, it's astronomical. So I guess we'll see if the sector wants to pull back, but it wouldn't surprise me if SPY gives us another, you know, $30 pullback and then continuation, you know, where it fills up this gap and then fills up this gap. And then continues, you know, its uptrend, I guess, as you will. When you start looking at those prices, obviously we could come down, let's just say 323. You know, what if we dropped off of the support zone right there, and she wants to pull back just enough to fill up that gap, and bounce maybe off that area. So you could say that she's going to, you know, come from down here and then back up and then, you know, see all-time highs as we continue rolling.
Well, you know, Mike, looking at the TrendSpider, it's had a trend line that starts back in September 27th, 2019. And every time it bounced off that trend line, it dropped pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
If you look all the way back to there. And it's about right there right now again. So, I mean, it's hard to say what direction it might go.
Yeah. But, you know, that's what's got me hesitant to just play super long and super bullish. I mean, you know, if we get really bullish, and again, we got Trump talking tonight. He's going to talk about some, I guess, supposedly a vaccine or some therapeutic breakout or break-in.
Oh, yeah?
So I don't know. I think Gator actually posted it in the chat room here.
Cool.
What was it? Yeah, Trump to reveal coronavirus breakthrough. White House secretary, press secretary says. So apparently, I guess he's talking tonight at 6 p.m. I think that's Eastern time. Development at 6 p.m. accompanied by Health and Human Services, Dr. Head of the Food and Drug Administration. So I don't know. Maybe this is what's going to pump the market even higher tomorrow. You know, it would be nice. I love a bullish market. I hate a bearish one, but I'm gonna be willing to play either side of it. Just gotta be prepared for it. So obviously watching, these all-time highs right here to see how we perform and actually, shove our way right across through there. We closed really strong on Friday, so it wouldn't surprise me if we get a continuation of a push, to make those more highs. We may continue to 345, maybe even 350 before a substantial pullback. It's hard to say when. But Apple, guys that are playing Apple, tomorrow is the last day to buy the commons in order to be included in the split, which I think the split isn't it on the 31st? I think it is.
I think it's the 28th.
Oh, is it the 28th?
I think it's Friday.
No, 31st.
Did they change it?
It says split 401 on 8/31.
Well, the thing I read on Friday, it said 28th. Maybe I read it wrong.
That's what mine says. Sometimes not sometimes, but every once in a while it's a little bit different. But that's what mine says, 8/31. I don't know where else. I can look someplace else, but.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey Flo, how's it going, buddy?
So,
Good. I got a question. So if the date of record is tomorrow, what about the people that buy shares of Apple in between, after tomorrow and when the actual split takes place? How does that work?
They get cashed out.
Okay.
So let's just say the split is going to happen the 31st, which is what, is that a Monday?
Monday. Yeah.
Yeah, next Monday. Let's just say the split happens at the close of Monday. And then Tuesday, September 1st comes along. Anybody that bought between 25th and 31st will have to be sold out, and they can rebuy back in on September 1st.
Gotcha.
So they'll actually sell them out.
I see what it says now, TJ. Oh, sorry.
Because anybody that's holding it from the 24th, before the 24th and on the 24th, gets included in that split. But anybody that's past the 24th gets sold out on the 31st.
Gotcha.
I put in the chat there, TJ. The split happens on the 28th, but they get their shares on the 31st.
Okay, August 28th, 2020. Shareholders are due split shares after the close of business on this date.
Seems like there's going to be some selling pressure now, after the date of record.
What that's saying, Tractor, is that 28th is the last day to be able to get your shares.
Oh, the split date's the 28th, but I think that you have to date of record's the 24th.
Okay. Interesting.
It's just like Tesla. The last day to own them was what? Friday, but the split day is what, Wednesday or something? Or?
Yeah, something like that.
Probably going to be some selling pressure there. I can't imagine why there wouldn't be. There's no benefit to jump on board with either one of them after the date of record.
So
isn't that saying that the 28th, if you own shares on the 28th, that night you will
they split,
given double shares?
Yeah, and then on the 31st, which is Monday,
shows up.
That's when the new share price starts trading.
Yeah, so we got till the 28th.
Let me look at the date. Apple stock split date. The date of record was the 24th, I swear.
It doesn't. I don't know. I'd have to. I just don't know. I really don't. I'm not going to buy any because of one or the other, but it'd be nice to know what the date is for sure. I'll try to check into it a little bit more.
Yeah, I am too.
All right, I'm gonna dig into it here a little bit.
I'm gonna wait for y'all geniuses to tell me what.
Before it's
My
a
man,
41
my man, Flo.
Heck yeah.
I'll think about other stuff.
Yeah, it says the record date is August 24th, the split date is August 28th, and the new price share date starts on August 31st.
Okay. So 24th, you got to own the shares.
Okay, so the split's gonna happen the night of the 28th, most likely.
Yeah, and then on that following Monday, the new price share will start.
That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Okay. So 28th is a Friday.
So the 25th, 26th, 27th, and 28th. There's
That means that anybody who bought between the 25th and the 28th will get sold out.
so there's no reason to buy it.
Right. There's no reason to buy Apple.
And all the
It's
reasons
gonna go red.
That's exactly what I was trying to tell you guys yesterday or Friday on Tesla. Tesla, the date of record was yesterday or Friday. So there's no reason to keep buying Tesla right now until after the split. Because all you're doing, you're just playing the day-to-day moment, the day-to-day movement, until the split actually happens, and then you get cashed out.
Are they gonna split it based on the price of date of record or the date?
The day of the
closed?
close for the split. So if
Okay.
Tesla closes at 2,103, then it'll split at 420 a share.
420.
So it's a good chance. It's a good chance it'll keep going down until the split actually happens.
And I bet it'll
That or
take
sideways. That or sideways. I
Yep.
mean, hell, Tesla right now is what, at 2180 or something like that?
Yeah.
2042 after ours.
Oh yeah. It has fallen.
Yeah, I
after.
don't think did
Yeah.
it crack 2100?
No, it didn't crack. Our all-time high was 2095.
That's what. Yeah, it got close. I remember.
So we may
All-time-
not
but
split.
mine says 2095.49.
Yep, 2095.49. If we don't, if it doesn't obviously get to 2100, it's not going to split at 420. But that's just everybody's shoot for target. But there's no guarantee what price we're going to close at before the split happens.
Yeah,
But I agree with what you say. I mean, I don't see Tesla just like Apple after tomorrow. I don't see them doing much the rest of the week.
Right. I think Apple will do a nice push tomorrow, and we'll play the push. But after Monday, I probably won't even touch Tesla or Apple because there's no reason to buy it.
I think I agree. I see what you're saying. I agree.
Catalyst is over.
unless it starts dumping.
Yeah.
Yeah, because anybody who
Really, I would think that the people that bought even this past week on Tesla, well, maybe not the whole week, but the last couple of days, they're taking a chance.
Yeah.
Because if it keeps going down for the next few days till the split happens, and they're hanging on to those shares that they bought before this action date,
So they can get their dividend. They gotta hold till after the split, so they get the split.
Yeah. So and whatever, don't matter.
They're locked in if they want to.
If they want it, they gotta stay in there.
Right.
They can't sell.
So
Apple
Apple and Tesla are splitting the exact same time, from what I gather.
Isn't that something?
Oh, on Friday?
Yeah. Well, yeah, on Friday 28th, and they both start trading on the 31st at their new price.
So that Monday will be pretty wild.
Next
I
Monday.
I think it'll probably blast off, man, with both of those big tickers, being a lot less expensive.
I mean, if Apple's here at $500, it's going to be what, 125 after split?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Who went by at $125?
And I guess the options work the same way, Mike.
Yeah, what I gather on the options part, they don't actually give you extra contracts. They give you more shares per contract. So if it's a 5-to-1 split on Tesla, instead of one contract representing 100 shares, one contract would represent 500 shares. And then your strike price would be readjusted to compensate the value of those contracts.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah. So it's not going to be a gain per, obviously, but your one contract is going to be leveraged times 5 versus times 1. So that option is probably going to be pretty jumpy, I would assume.
Instead of going up $1 per tick, you'll be going up $5 per tick.
Exactly.
Or down.
Exactly. Yep. But it's too late, obviously.
Or down.
It's too late for Tesla in that aspect. But if you want to hold some options for Apple, you can try that if you want to. To me, I did not hold any options for Tesla. I am holding some commons on Apple and Tesla just to play the split, but I'm not going to do the option part of it. It's pretty risky in my opinion. But, it could pay out pretty well. I have never experienced the whole, extra shares per contract. Now, Apple, in the case of Apple, being a 4-to-1 split would be, 400 shares instead of 500 like Tesla. So it's up to you guys. Tomorrow, that means you need to hold some options in order to be
up until the 31st.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait and see what it does after date of records.
I want to say that you can even buy options after the day of record too.
Yeah.
I don't think they're included in the whole common record thing.
Yeah, it's not a dividend for options holders.
Right. So I want to say that you can actually, it doesn't matter when you buy the options on or buy the options at all. Because I don't think it's a cutoff date for options like it is the commons.
Yeah, I'd rather not take a chance on something I don't know what the hell's going to happen.
Right.
Just imagine putting that money on the table and setting it afire, and if you're okay with it, go for it.
Yeah, it's like that's a straight up lotto. I mean, just like you said, it's straight up.
I've done it before. Why not do it again?
Shit, I set it on fire. I just to see what it
does. Shit. Oh well.
It's just money, y'all.
Yeah, it's just money. Hell, just go out a couple of weeks, buy a cheap one, and see what happens.
I'm talking about.
Well, Trump's fixing to talk here in a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I guess the futures open up in 30 minutes. That'll be interesting to know how the futures are going to react on this whole presentation here in a little bit. But anyway, guys, bunch of earnings plays this week too. I want to go ahead and just touch on those. I posted them in the Discord room if you guys haven't looked already. Down here on the channel, on the earnings report channel. These are all the earnings plays that are supposed to be this week. To me, there's nothing really that super attractive of these earnings plays this week, just because I'm more of a tech guy. I can't really play some of this stuff. Obviously, things like Dell and some of these other stocks that actually may catch my interest. Even Dollar General's paid pretty good. I know JSB has been a fan of that one before, playing into earnings. Some of those, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, I don't know. Maybe those stores may be doing really well during the whole coronavirus thing. I don't know, but we'll take a look at the charts and the consensus on it. But anyway, Best Buy right here is confirmed report earnings on 7 a.m. on Tuesday, August 25th. The consensus is it has an earnings estimate of $1.05 per share. I'll pull on down here. August 21st, there was some notable buying of 1,266 contracts at $150 or $115 call options expiring on August 28th, this Friday. Options traders are pricing in an 8.8% move on earnings, and the stock has averaged 7.7% move in recent quarters. So taking a look at Best Buy, I charted this out earlier for you guys on my Twitter if you didn't go and follow that. But Best Buy has put up a pretty good chart since, July 30th here. Really been pushing up in a very strong way and actually closed pretty nicely on Friday. So if it breaks 113.88 in tomorrow, it could continue coming on up here to maybe 116, maybe even higher. It's kind of in some funky territory right now. To see how much higher we're going to get here. I mean, it's at all-time highs. So let's see here. Yeah, 113.67 is the 52-week high, and we're at 114 right now. So it's actually beyond. It's all-time highs. So it could continue pushing because you've got till Tuesday morning. So pretty much all day tomorrow to play this one. Now options, I don't know how options trade on it, but I'll go ahead and pull them up here on the demo account. Let's see what we get. Hang on, let me log in.
I guess he's talking now, huh?
Yeah. Hang on, this stupid thing wants a verification. Anyway.
Yeah, breakthrough announcement on the coronavirus might be a big boost for tomorrow for everything.
I'll go ahead and
Spy 400.
let you guys see it for a minute if you want
Take
to.
care of the situation. 26,000 first responders already. Our hearts go out to thousands of families who have lost their homes as we grieve for the families
Bless you.
responders, and 5 residents who have tragically lost their lives. It's been a very horrific fire, one of the biggest we've ever seen. My administration is also closely monitoring Hurricane Marco and Tropical Storm Laura, which are coming in rapidly. Hurricane Marco is expected to make landfall in Louisiana tomorrow, and Tropical Storm Laura is expected to hit Louisiana 2 days later. This is somewhat unprecedented, the scope of the storms, and also the fact that they come so quickly after one another. Both storms have the potential of gathering strength before they make landfall and could cause significant damage across the Gulf Coast and also in Puerto Rico. We have everybody stationed and ready to go in Puerto Rico and the Gulf Coast, and we have tremendous people. We have FEMA is lined up, and we have the Coast Guard ready. The Coast Guard has done a fantastic job. They do such good work, and we want to thank our great Coast Guard. I'm asking all Americans in the storm's path to follow the instructions of your state and local governments very closely. And I've approved emergency declarations for Puerto Rico and for Louisiana. FEMA is mobilized on the ground and is ready to help. They will be in there very quickly. Very, very quickly. And I spoke to Governor John Bell Edwards also of Louisiana, and I've informed him, and at his request also, a major disaster declaration is signed and ready to go. We have everybody ready in Puerto Rico, the Gulf Coast, Louisiana, and also on the forest fires in California. So we have a great team. Unfortunately, we have some very, very powerful natural disasters. On the therapeutics front, this is what I've been looking to do for a long time. This is a great thing. Today, I'm pleased to make a truly historic announcement in our battle against the China virus that will save countless lives. The FDA has issued an emergency use authorization, and that's such a powerful term, emergency use authorization for a treatment known as convalescent plasma. This is a powerful therapy that transfuses very, very strong antibodies from the blood of recovered patients to help treat patients battling a current infection. It's at an incredible rate of success. Today's action will dramatically expand access to this treatment. And I want to thank Dr. Hahn and Secretary Azar. I want to thank the FDA, all of the people that have been working very hard on this. It showed tremendous potential. This is the only possible, and it's only made possible because of Operation Warp Speed. That is everybody working together. We're years ahead of approvals. So we would be, if we went by the speed levels of past administration, we'd be 2 years, 3 years behind.
All right, guys. I guess I'll decipher the nitpicks or the little sections that come out on that one on a speech here. But anyway,
plasma.
Do what?
You said it's convalescent plasma.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Convalescent plasma authorized to treat COVID-19. I wonder if there is stocks related to plasma. Will expand access to plasma treatment.
Harvard and Mount Sinai Hospital have also found convalescent plasma to be a very effective method of fighting this horrible disease. Based on the science and the data, the FDA has made the independent determination that the treatment is safe and very effective. Recently, we provided up to $270 million to the American Red Cross and America's Blood Centers to support the collection of up to 360,000 units of plasma. In late July, we launched a nationwide campaign to ask patients who have recovered, and these are patients that have been incredible the way they've donated. But these are people recovered from the virus to donate plasma. Since then, weekly plasma donations have doubled. And today I once again urge all Americans who have recovered from the virus to go to coronavirus.gov and sign up and donate plasma today, please. It's been really an incredible people. The country has united so strongly behind this, and I'll go over the numbers, but if you look at what's happened and the success that we've had that people don't talk about, the United States has experienced the lowest case fatality rate of any major country in the world. You don't hear that. The European Union's case fatality rate is estimated to be 3 times higher than that in the United States. Europe has seen 33% more fatalities compared to a typical non-pandemic year than the United States. And I just want to ask 2 of our people that have done such a fantastic job, Alex Azar and Stephen Hahn, to say a few words. And Stephen, I want to thank you because the FDA really stepped up, and especially over the last few days in getting this done. The results have been incredible. And I think you'll see the results even go up very substantially. So we appreciate it. And maybe I'll ask Alex to go first and then Stephen. Thank you very much, Alex.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. President. Thanks for the bold leadership that allowed us to deliver this very happy news today. Thanks to your All of America approach, America has done more than any other country to expand the arsenal that we have to battle COVID-19. And thanks to early efforts by your administration, Americans have broader access to these treatments, including convalescent plasma, than patients anywhere else in the world. In early April, early in our fight against COVID-19, the FDA, BARDA, the Mayo Clinic, and other partners sprang into action to set up an expanded access protocol for this promising treatment. President Trump is the right to try president, and he's fought hard to ensure that Americans can have access to promising COVID-19 treatments. Convalescent plasma has been a tried and true therapeutic method in prior outbreaks. But the president wanted to ensure that we develop the data to support its use, and this FDA authorization is one result of that effort. The data we gathered suggests that patients who were treated early in their disease course, within 3 days of being diagnosed, with plasma containing high levels of antibodies, benefited the most from treatment. We saw about a 35% better survival in the patients who benefited most from the treatment, which were patients under 80 who were not on artificial respiration. I just want to emphasize this point because I don't want you to gloss over this number. We dream in drug development of something like a 35% mortality reduction. This is a major advance in the treatment of patients. This is a major advance. Convalescent plasma is one new tool that we've added to our arsenal against COVID-19, alongside remdesivir, steroids, and a number of other promising options currently being studied. Because of the president's Operation Warp Speed, we expect to have other new results and new options reaching patients as soon as this fall. Operation Warp Speed is supporting experimental therapeutics all the way through to manufacturing, so that if they meet FDA's gold standard for safety and efficacy, they can begin reaching patients without a day wasted. Americans who have tested positive for and recovered from COVID-19 can go to coronavirus.gov to find out a quick, convenient way to play a potentially life-saving role in our fight. Know if you donate plasma, you could save a life. We've also provided guidance so healthcare providers can contact patients who have recovered from COVID-19 and give them information on how they can donate. So thank you again, Mr. President, for supporting this remarkable progress against COVID-19. And I want to thank Dr. Hahn, Dr. Marks, and the entire team at the FDA for the speed with which they've approached this, the diligence to ensure that this meets the standards at FDA. And I'll turn it over to Dr. Hahn if it's okay, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President, for your leadership. It's good to be here today to announce FDA's recent decision. From the beginning of this pandemic, the President has asked FDA to cut back red tape to try to speed medical products into the hands of providers, patients, and American consumers. And I just want to echo the President's thanks to the more than 17,000 men and women who work at FDA. They have worked day and night to, in fact, do that. So plasma is the liquid portion of the blood. That liquid portion contains the natural immunity that someone develops in response to an infection, in this case, COVID-19. And that liquid portion can be extracted, and for many years, as the President and Secretary Azar said, has been given to patients with infectious diseases for more than 100 years. So there was a really good rationale for why this might work. And in fact, as was mentioned, in early April, an expanded access program was started at the Mayo Clinic with the support of the federal government under President Trump's leadership. And that has gone on for the last 4 months. More than 90,000, close to 100,000 Americans have enrolled in this program, and over 70,000 have received treatment. This is one of the largest expanded access programs in the history of FDA. So a very successful approach to evaluating how convalescent plasma would work. So in the independent judgment of experts,
I'm making a watch list of all the stocks related to plasma, guys.
Review the totality of data, not just the data from this expanded access program, but more than a dozen published studies, as well as the historical experience associated with this. Those scientists have concluded that COVID-19 convalescent plasma is safe and shows promising efficacy, thereby meeting the criteria for an emergency use authorization. In the optimal treatment of the optimal patients, as described by Secretary Azar, treated with convalescent plasma at the highest titers, there was a 35% improvement in survival, which is a significant clinical benefit. Now we're waiting for more data. We're going to continue to gather data, but this clearly meets the criteria that we've established for emergency use authorization, and we're very pleased with these results. So let me just put this in perspective. Many of you know I was a cancer doctor before I became FDA commissioner, and a 35% improvement in survival is a pretty substantial clinical benefit. What that means is, and if the data continue to pan out, 100 people who are sick with COVID-19, 35 would have been saved because of the administration of plasma. We've seen a great deal of demand for this from doctors around the country. And what this EUA does, the EUA, emergency use authorization today does, it allows us to continue that and meet the demand. And again, I want to echo the President's and the Secretary's ask of the American people, if you've recovered from COVID-19, please donate. It could save a life. And Mr. President, thank you again.
Thank you very much, Stephen. I appreciate it. Okay, any questions?
Mr. President, thank you, Mr. President. I want to first ask you about the COVID-19 drugs that are in phase 3. Are they going to be available to the American population? You and I talked previously about this idea of right to try. Can we assure the American people that if it's being studied and it's in phase 3, you have that right?
You know, it's a great question, and I'm not sure a lot of people have been thinking about right to try. We're all waiting for the final answer. And maybe I could ask Stephen, but I would say that right to try is exactly if somebody is virtually terminal, in other words, they're not going to make it, and if we have these incredible therapies and drugs that are happening, Alex, I think it's a very interesting question. I congratulate you for that question because I think we're all waiting for that exact final endpoint. What about that, Stephen? We have all of these seemingly great answers that are ready to come out, but because of the process it takes, can we use some of this early under right to try, please?
Such a really good question. And of course, depends on the clinical circumstances and what a doctor and a patient together decide with respect to the administration.
Well, anyway, guys, I got some plasma stocks I posted up in the chat room if you guys want to take a look at those. But definitely could get very interesting tomorrow. And we'll take a look at these charts real quick. But ADMA definitely here at the bottom of it looks like a $2 something stock. We got EBS. It's actually been pushing up pretty strongly. TAK, LMNL, which seems to be the most common one because it's super low float. Look how much this one pops in one day. Here on July 30th, it was at $11 and shot all the way to 25 or close to 25. On June 1st, it was at 1160, 1150s and shot all the way as high as 31. So 200% move, obviously, on June 1st, and over 100% move on July 30th. So very likely this one could get some strong push on it as well. So definitely ones to watch tomorrow. I'm just curious to kind of throw these up here real quick. LM and L. And then it's got a share structure of what? Yeah, only 3.5 mil float. So very tiny. Very tiny, very tiny. THML is another one, looks like. It's a $3 stock here. It looks like we got a pop on April all the way as high as 14. So these are all related to the plasma that he's talking about. So my guess is this whole sector could be on fire tomorrow. CERS is another one. SON is another one. Just have to see what it looks like in pre-market as far as which one's getting the most momentum out of the move. This one obviously looks really low volume. This one's actually got respectable volume. As far as what options look like, if any of these actually have options. CRS. Yes, this one's got options. So if it pushes up, let's just say $8 roughly. Gives us an $8 pop. You could play some September 18 $8 calls. Really low volume right now, but they're super cheap. For September 18th, this one could be a really good candidate. If it gets volume tomorrow and actually shows the push, these options may start getting some traction. So take a look at these options for tomorrow on CERS. If it looks good in the pre-market, these options will probably be the first ones to grab. Depending how much we actually gap up, you may even go as far as $10, but I'd stay very close to the money on this one. Within $1 if you can of the actual price. KMDA, $10 stock. See if it's got options. No, it does not have options. It's a cheap. These are all cheap enough to actually just play commons too. You guys don't want the leverage of the options. THMO. No options on THMO. $3 stock, very cheap even to play the commons. LMNL, if this one's got options, goodness gracious, if it flies as fast as it does. LMN.
XBIT on there, Mike?
I'll take a look. I don't think I do.
They got options.
XBIT, you said?
Yeah, XBIT.
Throw it on the watch list too. Okay, looking at options on this one. I mean, hell, even the whole biotech section might actually get a lot of traction. XBIT. Yeah, man, they're super cheap. Low volume though. These look scary right now, but this could all change tomorrow. I'd probably play the $20 calls expiring September 18th. Probably these exact ones right here we're looking at. Like I said, stay very close to the money. Obviously, with brand new options like this, definitely stay close to the money. Be cautious of it. Don't jump into them right away because they're going to be high risk. These are high volatile plays. He doesn't mention a company that I see yet. I haven't got any news that shows that he actually mentions a company. Just that this sector is obviously the sector that everybody needs to focus on for tomorrow. I'm gonna do some digging tonight too, just to see if anybody else can pull up some other stuff that looks interesting for it, because this is obviously brand new information. And see if I can find other stocks that may actually grab attention. But I posted it there, even for you guys there on YouTube. If you want to take a look at my tweet, I tagged kind of the top tickers that I'm going to be definitely focusing on tomorrow in this sector. So it'll be interesting to kind of see it. But anyway, those are the kind of the top ones that kind of caught my eye right away. So we'll see what those look like going into next week. But XBIT, Sun, what does TAC look like? It's an $18 stock. Yeah, I'd stick with $20, September 18th. This one actually looks a little better. This one maybe actually be another cheap one that I get some traction on it. Chart wise, very short candles, so it does not make big moves, obviously. But I'll go ahead and throw some lines up here, and we'll get a quick analysis of it. Probably be looking in this range right here. That's a short candles though. But my guess is it's going to definitely gap on up. It could push as high as up well over $20 here.
So cool to watch you do this.
Watch me do.
Yeah,
Started.
I was thinking the same thing.
Well, I mean, the idea is to find common ground, for where stocks bounce off. Daily candles hit here, a small one here, small one right there, and multiple times it closed above it or below it right here. So I'm trying to find common ground for supports and resistance constantly. The same with the angles, the same with the horizontals. This one actually could go. I kind of like that one. It's got two hits. So you got to realize daily candles are support and resistance too. So every time the candle comes up and bumps an area, it's going to be a support or resistance later on for the same exact point right here as well. That same candle, 3 candles right here touch that price point, and it proved as a resistance, and a support one time. So same thing could go back as far as if you wanted to go back here and look even further on. And what do you know? If I stretch this 1954 price all the way over here, you see where it hit right there too? So it hit here, and it hit as far as way down here, just as much as it hit as a resistance point there. I could almost on this one too. The 1928 we were just talking about. I could go as much as right here. and it acts as a resistance right there. Resistance, kind of a resistance there, kind of a resistance there. And if I go back farther right here, no, we have not met that as an area yet. But that line will definitely play as an area to fight through too. So I just like to find, where my roadmap of the stock is actually going to bump its head on as it continues pushing it. So far, it's always proved it well for me.
That's why you're a fucking beast.
Futures will open up here in 3 minutes. So I'm kind of curious to know what's going to happen on the futures here. I think we're going to get a pop tomorrow. So definitely watch these sectors, guys. ADMA, this is a cheaper one. EBS, this one's more expensive. This one's probably got decent on options. Let's see here. Yep, it definitely got options. Oh, it's got a good amount of options too, and they're pricier, which I like. Volume is still low though. Very low, but this will all change tomorrow. I'm liking this one. This is a little bit more in my bracket. I know it's more expensive than the others, obviously. $8, $5, $4, $3, $2. But this one, I like this one right here. It's made some pretty good pushes lately too. But definitely one to watch tomorrow. It's got a nice little pendant forming right here. Actually, I need to delete that one. Redo it. Actually, I don't like one right there. I'm going to throw up some horizontals though. Yeah. Right there. We'll watch that line real closely. And see how we play out tomorrow. Obviously, it closed down pretty good yesterday or Friday. So it could definitely have some fun shooting back up here. But 137s. Looks like strong days was 122 to 130. So $8 days there on some of these days. 103 to 113 there. Yeah, $10. It could have a $10 day easily tomorrow if it wants to push up. Comes up here and wants to bump its head. 140s. It's at 128. Wants to 138. Hell, that could push up on up here. Definitely. If it wants to keep going higher. Obviously, it's picked up some volume lately, though, for some reason. Any other stocks you guys want to look at? I know we didn't really cover the earnings plays, but if you guys want to take a look at your favorite earnings play, like I said, I'm not probably going to be playing much of them. Even in, let me go actually pull them up here real quick again. I've got it broken down here in the earnings report section. We've got Dollar General reporting on Thursday morning. On August 20th, there was some notable buying of 2,689 contracts of the $200 calls. And just taking a look at DG here. DG's in a nice little channel that's rolling right now. And this white line is the ER date. So I threw this line up here just so I can quickly look to know when the ER is. And that's why I say ER and then PM is pre-market. And as you guys see down here, I've got the date pegged on this white line because that's the day our candle will be forming on the ER date. So it gives me something to quickly glance at all these stocks real quick to know that the ER date is this time and it's pre-market and it's on this white line. and so on. So give yourself something easy to glance at if you got your stuff charted out, which I charted these earlier today. And Dollar General looks really good. It's consolidating really nicely at this point right here across this line at this 197.61. So if it wants to start shoving its way and break this yellow line right here that's sloping down, could potentially push up even stronger for this week. And obviously in order to August 27th, which I think is Thursday. It's the 27th Thursday. Yes, 27th Thursday pre-market. So you've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday all day to play this if we finally break through it. Now, if this is good earnings on Dollar General, which we shall see, I'd have to go back and look to know when the last earnings was and how it actually performed. But going off the analysis here, the consensus is estimated of $2.39 per share on the revenue of $7.78 billion, $2.48 a share. Like I said, there was some notable buying of 2,689 contracts of the $2,000 calls expiring September 18th. So somebody's got some time on those options, and you guys want to pull up some DG options here for September 18th. 200s. I mean, we're that's right on the money right there. So you guys could play those if you wanted to, obviously, but you could probably play the August 28th. Let's see what those look like. A little more expensive, but this is probably be more in the wheelhouse of actually playing the earnings boost. You could probably get by with 200s, 205s, 210s, maybe even as well. 215s might be straight. Nope, 210s actually are decent. What are 220s looking like? Yeah, 220s you could probably get by. 255 contracts in volume. It's low volume, but the spread's still 10 cents. It's not terrible. The low right here, as you see, was 46. The high was 65. So it's not an extreme amount of upside, obviously, unless Dollar General all of a sudden just gets that boost just to start shoving this thing and breaking resistance, obviously. So those options are going to pop probably more than 20%. I mean, that's not a whole lot of gain on this if you got the low ad and then, played it out. But preferably, if I was to play this one, I would probably play the August 28th and probably play 205s. I would say that's probably a nice clean number. Maybe even 200s, a little bit closer to the money. And there's good action there too. The other plays that we got showed up here, CRM confirmed report earnings on 4:05 p.m. on Tuesday after hours. So you got Monday and Tuesday to play these. I've got this charted out too on my Twitter as well. You guys can take a look at it. It is putting in a pretty good week last week. You've got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday actually had some downside where it bumped its head on a double top. It had a previous resistance right up there on that top, which was August 5th, looks like. Or August 6th, I mean. So had some resistance up there at that 210.17, which I've got marked on the charted there. So you guys will know that that's a first area that we have to crack through. If it doesn't crack through it, then obviously it's going to be pulling back down. But this white line right here, once again, it shows me when the earnings report is. And I've got it right there. Earnings report is 8:25 in after hours. So you got Monday and Tuesday to play that. So it's good to have that charted out on your chart so you know ahead of time to quickly look, okay, well, this white line is what I'm playing in the anticipation of maybe, a shoot up right here and then a shoot up right here to maybe bump against this resistance line that's been in play for quite a while. Who knows what will happen on that? It may push up, it may not. CRM options on this one, which I'll go and throw up real quick here, but I'll go ahead and read the consensus on it. The consensus estimates are for year-over-year earnings of 6.35% growth, 67% share on revenue, $4.9 billion. On Wednesday, August 5th, 2020, there was some notable buying of 35,000 contracts of the $200 calls expiring November 20th. You guys look obviously right here on November or August 6th, literally the next day, this made that big move, and those somebody bought on August 5th. So it's hard to say if they're still holding those options because we've obviously had some downside from August 5th. Who knows? They may push up. Those are in the money calls, I think. Was that 200s? I don't know. Yeah.
I was looking at that Friday market. Guy's still holding them.
Is he still holding them?
Yeah, he's trying to get rid of them. He was asking like 50 cents or something, and nobody was buying them.
Huh.
I don't
Okay.
know what happened at the end of the day, but that was like in the middle of the afternoon. Yeah, I was watching that.
Okay.
So I don't know
Well,
what happened there.
yeah, to me, this play does not interest me whatsoever until we break that 210.17. I don't like to play the noise in between that and in between areas. You guys know I hate to dip buy, but I'll play dip buys every now and then. I love to buy 5-day breaks or 52-week breaks. So I'm looking for those key areas to pop. And when they pop, there's nothing more exciting than that, because the Momo and the FOMO and everything else starts kicking in a dramatic way, with volume increasing down here on the bottom, pushing the price higher and higher and higher, because it's broken its boundary, or it's broken its area of holding it back, its resistance. So I love to play that massive boost that all of a sudden just pops out of nowhere when that happens. So in my instance on this, I wouldn't play or touch this play until we actually broke that resistance. You know, obviously if I want to be like, okay, well, I'll go and buy some right here at 207 and we go up to 210 and my options are barely moved and I'm still hanging on to them, and it hits 210 again and then fails. Okay. It fails. It doesn't want to break it, and it comes right back down, and I end up making that trade a break-even trade, or maybe even a losing trade. Depends on what your trade plan was around that ambition of the play. If I get in the play, I'm waiting for it to break. I want it to pop. When it pops, my stop loss is obviously going to be just under that resistance point. So if it jumps and it starts seeing 211, 212, 215, or whatever it decides to start shoving its way on up to, automatically in my head, as soon as I've entered that play, my reasoning for that stock was to jump in on the break of a hard resistance. Volume came in. It showed me the strength. It showed me that it's going to do it. It shoves right on through it. And I'm making good money as that stock, or my option that I'm playing, is running up with that move. So if it just, let's just say it just prematurely pops up a little bit and then comes right back down, I'm obviously killing it, because it's just a higher double top. It's not gonna shove me something greater. I mean, you're kind of dealing with that on SPY right now, you know, where we've got that double top these 2 days right here, and we've closed above it. You know, this day right here is a top, and we've closed just above it right here. So it may be just briefly that we pull back tomorrow, and you know, it's not going to show that as a continuation. Obviously, with the plasma news tonight, I'm thinking a little bit more positively on the market. Yeah, futures are going right now, and we're looking at 42 points on the Dow. The S&P 500 at 339.70. Okay, that's all-time highs right now. So markets are green right now. Futures are green. We may have ourselves a really nice bull market to push us even higher and higher. So looking at those futures, guys, if you want to look at this, go to the investing.com. I'll actually post this on Twitter or YouTube there for you guys to go look at. That link, save it if you want to. Yeah, looks good for tomorrow. But yeah, CRM, not interesting until it breaks that area. Dollar Tree, okay, DLTR. We did look at DG, Dollar General. So I don't know. To me, this is just a cheaper branch of the same thing, I guess. I'm not known for shopping at Dollar Tree, I guess, but Dollar Tree, 7 a.m. on Thursday, August 27th. On Friday, August 21st, which was this past Friday, there was notable buying of 2,200 contracts of the 108 call options expiring on Friday, September 25th. Expected a 6.8% move in recent quarters, 7.2% move is expected. CRM, or Dollar Tree. Let me see if I can pull up that chart. I charted it earlier today. Yes, look at this. Nice push, nice growth. All the way from the March 18th lows, looks like. August 27th pre-market. So you've got all day, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to trade this. Why I'm saying that is I don't hold into earnings. You guys can hold into earnings, obviously, for Thursday morning if you want to. It's not my choice to do that, because there's a huge lottery risk to that they beat earnings and the stock wants to crash, or they lose earnings and the stock wants to crash. Beat earnings and the stock wants to run, or so on, however you want to play it. It's super risky. It's not something I advise doing. but you guys can play it if you want to. Anyway, nice day on Friday. Love the move on Friday there. Pushed off of this 98.21 area right there. This was a barrier many times in the past here, roughly. Right there, pretty close to right there. So it's bounced off that area, and it shows that it wants to hold that 98.21 as support off of Friday's lows. Obviously, the very first resistance it really needs to be breaking is it closed above the 99.66, but 101.82. We're at 130 right now, so it's got a little bit of one right there, but I only got one candle on that point. But you guys, if you want to be a little more tighter range right there, 158 could be a solid resistance to pop through as well. And you could trade it to the 101.82 and see if it gets to all-time highs. I mean, no, we'll see what that does. DLTR. Let's see what options look like. Let's just say if we were to play August 28th. I'll be dang, options are actually relatively decent on this one. I thought everything was $1 though at Dollar Tree. These things are $3.
What the hell?
I know, man. They're ripping the traders off. Look at this. $1.87, $1.75.
I'm gonna give them a very strong worded phone call.
That's the tax.
What's that? These things are actually decent. They're not bad options. They're actually got a good spread on them. This one's a little bit rough, 109s, but 110s, it's a little bit rough. But let's see, 105s look really good though. Only 10-cent spread, decent volume there, 876. In the money. Looks good. 102's a little bit rough on the odd numbers. I don't like to trade the odd numbers just because of that spread is generally rougher. But if you wanted something out, maybe the September 18th, 105s maybe. It's not bad, but these options are actually better than I expected. 110s look really good. That's a nice spread. 110s for September 18th. Which the person that bought some was 108, okay, for September 25th. Okay, what do those look like? It's a little spready, but look at the volume, 2,200 there. They definitely bought some volume on those. Look, they're the only ones who bought 2,204 contracts at interesting. So they bought between $1.68 and $2.18. Yeah, if you guys want to play that one, it could provide other ones. I don't got much time here to show you guys too much more, but INTU could be potential on Tuesday, July 28th. So that's a long time out. There was a notable buying of 852 contract, 290 puts. I got this chart actually on my Twitter as well. I got all these charts on my Twitter just so you guys know. Intuit. And this one actually had a really good Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday last week. I threw this 335.07 just because I have two trend lines crossing right there. And I felt convinced we could hit that number. That's a strong area right there that we could potentially continue pushing up and possibly see on ER day. So watch that carefully because this trend line and this trend line and this trend line are crossing right there at that 335.07 number. That to me feels like it could be potential resistance that it wants to shoot for. It is a resistance number there just because of the trend lines crossing there, but it's got 3 strong days in a row. Closed really nice on Friday. It was a little bit shorter day. Not as lengthy as obviously Thursday's move from 309 to 320 and then from 320 or was it 318 to 322 on Friday. This one's got some pretty good candles on it. So it could push another good one tomorrow being Monday. Everybody likes to buy on Monday. INTU, I'm going to take a look at these options real quick.
Isn't that a breakout from a flat top ascending triangle?
Yeah, for the most part, that 314 you're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was to throw another trend line here, it's actually almost symmetrical. It would go across like that right there.
Okay.
Right here. I'm gonna change the color of that so you can see it a little bit better. But you got candles there and all these candles through here that have hit that trend line. And then obviously definitely a breakthrough right there. It's a lot of clutter I know I'm throwing up right there, but yeah, it's a nice push. And if you want to play it as a symmetrical triangle, obviously you want to throw in your area right here.
Measure it. Yeah.
From right here, it's $33 off a breakout. So from right here, $33 put us about right there, about 344, 340s. So it's well on its way there. But let me see what options look like on this thing. If we were to, let's say, play 330 calls for this week, what would those look like? They're a little more pricier, $5, $7, low volume. It's a little bit rough. 340s. Yeah, these options are pretty dang rough. $2 spread, $2.50 spread. That's a really big spread. Let's see what does September's look like. 330s. That's not bad. That's better. The 330s for September 18th. That's actually better. There's a little volume there, but it could be manageable. That one's rough. I'd probably play with a September 18th, 330s. 340s are too rough. That's probably what I'd touch is the 330s for September 18th if I was to play it. It's got a decent move, though. Options just are not as a huge fan.
And Mike, just for the shits and grins of it, that CRM you was talking about a while ago.
Uh-huh.
Somebody on Friday bought another 15,000 contracts for November.
For which one?
For CRM.
15 contracts?
15,000 contracts for November. Let's see, what was it again?
What strike were those?
$15. $15 strike.
210, the 210s?
Yeah, 210s. Yeah, it's 210s.
Yeah, that is a lot of volume. Those got a nice spread on them too. $15 and 15.55.
He just bought them Friday at 10 o'clock in the morning, 10:18 in the morning.
Going back to CRM here. I don't know. If she breaks, she breaks. Yeah. I'm going to be watching that 210 area right there to pop. All right, guys. Well, any other questions or stocks y'all want to look at before we call it a night?
Mike, I'd like to look at one.
Okay.
I played it on Friday. It was J&J.
J&J.
Yeah, I bought it. I think when it was 146, and it finished Forget where. I'm thinking if it breaks over 153, that might be good for a continuation.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it here. It looks good. Looks like it pulled out actually a good week, really, an all good week.
I only played it Friday, but I did really well. So I was looking to get a little more from it.
I'd say you could.
Yeah.
Let's see right here. We've got some resistance up here. We've got some right there. Looks like we bumped into it actually a little bit.
Okay, so we are looking for a break over 153.
59.
59. Okay.
Yep. Let's see what happens if we pop above that. Right here is another one. It actually may hold true to this trend too, maybe. Watch that trend there. It may actually hold true to that one. Looks like we opened above it and closed above it. Yeah, overall it looks pretty good. Yeah, just see it channel between that area right there, that 151.63 and 153.59.
Okay.
Tomorrow's candle may, depending on how we open, may trade between here, unless it wants to step up and then break through that line. If it breaks through that line, then you want to start looking for some resistance beyond that, which may be this line right here. Yeah, right there. Actually, that line could be pulled all the way back. Let me redo it. Yeah, that one could play as a resistance line up here to 156. Yeah, so just see how it plays out. It could definitely potentially push on up and break that number, and then you've got this line right here where I've got definitely multiple touches on that could come up here and maybe kiss it.
Okay, nice.
Maybe tomorrow, even Tuesday. It looks like 6 green days in a row, so it may continue the momentum there. That's pretty good. And Friday, you got above average volume. It looks like Wednesday and Friday, you got above average volume. Yep, good one. Good one.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yep. I'll post this chart in the Discord for you if you want.
Nice.
All righty, guys. Any other stocks y'all want to take a look at before we call it a night?
It was just, oil futures look like they were up. So usually when oil runs, usually SPY overall has a decent day too. It seems like.
Yeah, well, Trump
with all
kind
that
of
hurricane stuff and everything else.
Yeah. Let me see what actually commodities look like here. Yeah, it's up a little bit.
We'll see.
All right, gentlemen. Well, let's have a freaking killer ass week.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Mike.
you
Good
guys.
night.
Thank you. Let's do this.
Good night, guys.
Have a
Night.
good one.